A very good morning to all my children of class 6, and I am happy to welcome you all in one more biology class and today's botany class. Today's class will be continuation of chapter 1. What is chapter 1? The leaf, right? So today's topic will be modification of leaves. What is today's topic? Modification of leaves. What is modification? How it is modified, all we will learn in this class, and how it is going to help you will learn. So modification of leaves will lead to special functions. What is modification? First of all, modification is some change. What is modification? There is some change. Instead of the regular leaf structure like this, there is going to be a change in the shape of the leaves. This change in shape of the leaves will lead to special functions. What did I tell you? If there is a change in the shape of the leaf, only certain leaves have different shapes, and those who have different shapes have special functions, unique functions. What is the normal function of leaf? Photosynthesis, right? So apart from photosynthesis, these leaves which are modified will have special functions. What are those special functions? Let's learn one by one. So there are 4 special functions when a leaf is modified. Okay, whenever there is modification in leaves, there are 4 special functions. What are they? Support, protection, storage, and to capture insects. When a leaf is modified in shape, it can give support to the plant, it can give protection to the plant, it can store food, and also it can capture insects. How it is possible? So that is what we are going to learn in today's class. Okay, let's see how modified structure can give all these functions. So the first one is support, right? We will start with that. How modified leaves will give support. See, have you seen such a structure like this? Can you see something here? Some coiled structure like this. These are actually called as dendrils. What are they called? Tendrils. Tendrils. Before that, what is this? If you have some coiled structure in some plant, they are usually called as climbers. Have you heard of this word climbers? What are climbers? Some plants can climb above. If you give a support, it can climb above. They are called as climbers. What is the example given in your book? Pea plant is a climber. What is special about these climbers? Apart from their stem, they also have stem, but apart from their stem, there is some thread-like structures which helps the plant to climb up. Okay, this is a modified leaf. What is that rope-like structure? It is actually a leaf which is modified. That's why the topic of our lesson is modification in leaves. This is not any thread or extra structure. The leaf of the plant has been modified like a thread, and that thread is called as tendrils. Okay. So the leaves are modified into tendrils. So these coiled rope-like structure are modified leaves. So can you describe the tendril? How can you describe the tendril? They are coiled. They are coiled, right? You must have seen many climbers. Even bitter gourd plant also. So climber, no, when you give some stick or a support, it will climb up. So they are coiled around the support. It needs a support, otherwise it will just be lying on the floor. If you give a stick, it can coil nicely and grow up. And then what is the use? It will help the plant to climb up. So the use of tendrils is, it will help the plant to climb up. So this is the first function we have seen. What was the first function? Modified leaves give support, right? So where it gives in plants like climbers, example pea plant, you have the leaves modified into a structure called as tendrils. These tendrils are coiled structures which can grow around the support, and the use of tendrils or these type of modified leaves is it can help the plant to climb up. Without these modified leaves or tendrils, the plant cannot climb up. So this is the first use. So next we will see about the next use. What was the next use? Yes, it gives protection, right? So support we have completed. So the next use is how modified leaves will give protection. Okay, actually for this topic there are 4 examples given. How modified leaves can protect a plant, 4 examples are given. Let's see one by one. The first example is barberry. It is barberry. This is the you may not have seen. So this is the barberry plant. Okay, what you can see here, see there are few leaves. Can you see? There are few leaves. Apart from leaves, what can you see here? There are thorns, no? You can see many thorns. So these thorns are modified leaves. It is actually a leaf, but it is modified. It is changed into some other shape. What is that shape? It is modified into a thorn in the case of barberry plant. Okay, so what description is given about barberry plant? Let's see. So the leaves are modified into thorns and it is in the axil. You have studied about axil. Now what is axil? It is the angle between the stem and the leaf base, right? So where can you find these thorns? In the axil. Okay, in every axil you see the thorn like structure. What else? What is the use of it? It can protect animals from grazing. The presence of thorns will protect the animal from grazing. What is grazing? Usually if an animal, especially cow or goat, if they see a plant, they will start eating the leaves all, no? But here, since the leaf is modified into a thorn, will an animal eat a thorn? No, right? It will prick it. So this modification is helpful for the plant because it can protect itself from grazing. The thorn will prick the animal, so the animal will never come near such plants. So this is the advantage of the plant barberry for having modified leaves. Okay, what is the next example given? It is prickly pear. So these plants all you may not have seen because it is not common in our place, but that's why I have displayed the picture. So prickly pear is this one. You can see spines here. See what is the difference between thorn and spine? Thorn is usually very thick and hard in nature and mostly they exist as single or 1 or 2 thorns only you will have. Spines, they will also prick, but there will be many numbers. See at one itself you can see bunches like this, right? From one point itself you can see many branch like structures. It will be softer when compared to thorns. Okay, so this prickly pear plant has the ability to produce spines. Okay, the leaves are modified into spines. Here also the leaf is modified into spine. In this case in barberry the leaves are modified into thorns. So instead of leaves you have thorns. Here instead of leaves you have spines. You may think this as leaf. No, this is not leaf. This is stem actually. There is something like here, no? This is not leaf. Since it is green in structure, do not assume. Even in cactus plants, it is the stem and these are the leaves. The spine or thorns are the leaves. Okay, so this is the stem. So where is the leaf in cactus plant? It is modified into a spine. So actually the spine is the leaf. So the topic of the lesson itself, the leaf is not, in all the examples whatever I am giving, no, the leaf is not of this shape, the original leaf shape you cannot find. Instead of that, here you have seen thorns, here you have seen spines. Okay, so what is the use of it? Again the same use. The presence of spine, the spines will prick the animal, so it can protect the plant from animal grazing. Animals will not touch such plants for eating. So it is an advantage to the plant. There are 2 more examples given for modified leaves for protection. Okay, the third example is date palm. Okay, date palm. Here also you can see thorns or spines. Can you see spines here? There are many in number, no? They are called spines. All these are spines which will prick if you go near it. So the leaves are modified into spines in the case of date palm is the third example. Okay. So what is more given? It is present in the leaf apex. What is leaf apex? Leaf apex is the tip of the leaf, right? What is leaf apex? If there is a leaf like this is the apex. Okay. So where you can find these spines? In the apex of the leaf. So what we have studied about date palms, in date palms also the leaves are modified into, there is no leaf, instead of leaf there are spines. Okay. And these spines they are at the leaf apex, where the tip of the leaf is supposed to be. In that place only this kind of spines are present. The last example is onion. See, you have seen onions, right? You must have seen. The outer scale alone will be dry, right? The outer scale will be dry. From where these scales come? What do I mean by scales? You have layer, no? Every layer you can peel out. In the case of onion, you can, if you have seen or if you have cut onions, you know they exist in layers. The inner layers are all very fresh and fleshy, right? But the outer layer alone, how it will be? It will be like very dry, no? Why? Because it is a modified leaf. Actually, this is the leaf. This is this skin which is peeled out, no, the dry one, that is actually the leaf, but the leaf is modified. The topic of the lesson itself is modification in leaves. These are all exceptional plants where you don't see this regular leaf structure. So this is the leaf in the case of onion. In spring onion all you must have seen about, no, like if you have grown onion plant at your home, you know, initially you will have spring onions like leafy structure above the onion, and the bulb of the onion will be underground, no? But later stages the leaves are modified into these scales. So this is the actual leaf. So this is the fourth example. So the leaves are modified into scales. So these are the scales. What is the use? This presence of outer layer only protects the inner layers. You have inner fleshy layers and outer dry layer, no? The presence of such a modified leaf will give protection to the inner layer. So this is the fourth example. So that is all about, what are we studying about? About support. How when leaf is modified it gives support, we have studied, and the example was climbers. So when leaf is modified it gives protection, we have studied, and the examples, 4 examples we have studied: barberry, prickly pear, and then date palm and onions we have studied. So 2 we have completed, 2 more. What else? Leaf modification help the plant, we will see. So the third use is the modification of leaves helps in food storage. Again onion is the example. I told you only the outer covering is the modified leaf, and the inner layers of the onion, no, see here there are many inner layers of the onion, no. So all these layers store the food. Almost all underground plants, no, they are all helpful in storing. From the leaf the plant is produced, and from the leaf it is transported to the underground part. Onion is also underground food, no. So similarly food is stored, the inner scales or inner layers of the onion has food, and we eat, no, that food. So it is about storage purpose. Onions, that is the leaves are modified into fleshy. So the outer layer is modified into scales, and the inner fleshy layer are also modified leaves only. I think you must not have imagined, all these are leaves only, all these layers, no, and the outer layer is also a leaf, but it is a dried one. So the use of it is protection. The inner layers are in layers which is in a fresh form, and it helps in storage of food. So the last one is a leaf modification for capturing insects. So some shape of the leaves will help to capture the insects. Why it should capture the insects? Why a leaf has to capture the insects? What is the use for the plant? See, some plants, they will be growing in soils which lack nitrogen. Okay, for plants this nitrogen is very, very important for their growth, but sometimes if some plants are present in soil where there is no nitrogen at all, in this case the shape of the leaves is modified, and what they do, they will trap the insects. The leaf will catch the insects and digest the insects and take the nitrogen from that insects. What did I tell you? Some plants will be growing in soil where there is no nitrogen at all, but plants need nitrogen. Okay, so what they will do is they will trap or they will catch the insects nearby, because the shape of the leaf is so special. They can catch the insects and they digest the insects, and from the nitrogen, from the insects nitrogen, the plant can take the required nitrogen source. Okay, there are two examples for this. Two plants have such ability. What are they? Venus flytrap and pitcher plant. So what are the plants which have modified leaves which can trap the insects? They are Venus flytrap and pitcher plant. Next we will be learning about this plant, a Venus flytrap and pitcher plant in detail, and I will explain you in what way the leaves can trap the insects. Okay. So first description is about pitcher plant. So can you see this image? This is the image of the pitcher plant. I will tell you what it is. So first point, the leaf blade is converted into pitcher. So what is this? You have a cup-like structure, no? You have a cup-like structure. This is actually the leaf blade. We have already studied about the structure of a leaf, and you know what is the structure of a leaf? What does a leaf have? A leaf has leaf blade, midrib and petiole, right? So this is the petiole, this is the leaf blade, right? Leaf blade. So in the case of this plant, which plant? Pitcher plant. This is the pitcher plant. So this pitcher plant's leaf blade is not like this, it is in the form of a cup, right? So this is the modification. The leaf is not in regular shape, but it has been modified into a different shape. So in the form of a pitcher. Pitcher means it is like a cup shape. Then what else? There are some more modifications, and then the leaf apex is like a lid. Which is the leaf apex? So this is the leaf apex, right? The tip of the leaf is called the leaf apex, and this leaf apex in pitcher plant is appearing like a lid, no? So this appears like a container or a cup, and the apex appears like a lid. Okay, so what it does, no? Whenever a insect tries to sit on this leaf, the lid will close and it will trap the insect inside. Okay, it will hold the, whenever a insect comes near the pitcher, that is the leaf blade, the lid will close so that it can trap the insect inside. So what is inside? There is a sticky substance inside, sticky liquid like substance inside, which will have digestive enzymes. A slippery liquid is present which will have digestive enzymes. What are digestive enzymes? In our body, when we eat, there are many enzymes, no, which will break the larger food particles into smaller food particles. Similarly, in plants also, in some plants you have digestive enzymes which can convert larger or complex substances into simpler substances. So in this pitcher plant, there are digestive enzymes which has the ability to digest the insects. Okay, this, imagine this is a plant and it has the ability or enzymes which can digest or break the enzymes. So after digestion, what will happen? The plant can get the nutrients, mainly nitrogen. I told you the examples for pitcher plant and Venus flytrap. In both the cases, these plants will grow in the soil where there is no nitrogen. Okay, in those soils there will be no nitrogen at all. So that's why it is trying to take the nitrogen from who? From the insects, from any insects which comes and sits. It will close the lid and put the insect inside. So the insect will go inside. What is inside? Inside you have a slippery liquid, that's why it slips inside, and you have digestive enzymes inside, and then the insect will be digested and the nutrients will be taken up by the plant. The goal or objective of this plant is to get the nutrients from insects. Okay, so this is about pitcher plant. Then the last one is about Venus flytrap. See, this is the picture of the plant of Venus flytrap. What you can see how the leaf is modified in this. It is in the form of circular lobe. It is like a circle, right? It is not like a normal leaf shape. It is like a circle, and there are hinges at the edges. See, there are sharp edges. It is like a circular lobe and you have sharp edges. So, whenever the insect touches the hair-like structure, whenever it touches the hair-like structure, the leaf will close. It will be locked inside like this. It will close and the insect will be trapped inside. In both the cases, see, the insect will be locked inside the leaf, and after that, with the help of digestive enzymes of the leaves, the insects are digested and the plants can take in the nutrients from the insects. Okay, so what we have studied about Venus flytrap? The leaf is modified into a circular lobe-like structures and they have hinges at the edges. They are so sharp, not so sharp, but they are hair-like structures which can trap the insects. Okay, so when they touch the hair-like structure, it will be shut. The leaf will be shut and the insect is trapped inside. Okay, in this case also, with the help of digestive enzymes, finally the plant can get the required nitrogen source. So these are all the uses of modification in leaves. Okay, there is one more topic called as vegetative propagation. The last topic for today's class, and this lesson also. This lesson ends today. So we have completed one lesson. The last topic is vegetative propagation. Have you seen this leaf somewhere? It is called as bryophyllum. The name of the plant is bryophyllum. Okay, what is the speciality? Can you see something different? See, this is the leaf blade. So this is the leaf, and see, from every edge you can see small bud like structures. Can you see a small plant arising from many small plants arising from a single leaf? They are called as vegetative buds. Okay, what are they called as? Okay, before that, I did not tell you the definition. What is vegetative propagation? Vegetative propagation. Propagation itself means multiplication. The word propagation means trying to multiply. Okay, so what is trying to multiply? Multiplication by means of vegetative parts. What are vegetative parts? Roots, stem and leaves are vegetative parts. Okay. Floral parts means the flower, right? So vegetative parts include roots, stems and leaves. So through the roots, stems and leaves, if the plant tries to multiply, then it is called as vegetative propagation. What did I mean? If a plant tries to multiply with the help of roots or stem or leaves, then it is called as vegetative propagation. The example given is bryophyllum leaf, and here in the case of leaves help in vegetative propagation in the case of bryophyllum. See, these are all from the leaves, right? So from one leaf you have got many leaves, which means there is multiplication, right? There is multiplication here, which is called vegetative propagation, because there is multiplication or multiple leaves arising from one single leaf. So it is a vegetative propagation. See, first what happens, you don't call them as leaves or plants, you call them as buds. What do you call? These small plants which arise are called as buds, B-U-D-S. Okay, so first buds arise, and after that from the buds, see, can you see roots here, white thread like structures, they are roots. Okay, so first buds arise, then roots arise, and once they are somewhat a small plantlet like structure, they fall to the ground. Okay, they will fall to the soil, and then again they can develop into a new plant. Okay, because they have root and shoot, no, so they can develop into an individual bryophyllum plant. So what is given explanation part, let's check once. So I told you, so these buds are called as adventitious buds. Adventitious buds which arise from the margin. Adventitious buds arise from the margins of the leaf. These are all margins, right? So you can see the buds from the margins of the leaf of bryophyllum, and also they develop roots, and then they can develop into a single plant. Every adventitious bud with the roots can become a separate bryophyllum plant. This is called as vegetative propagation. So with this topic the lesson ends, and in next class you will have a online quiz. Okay, online quiz on 16/9/20, the class which is to be conducted, you will have test during that time, during your class hours on this date, no, during your botany class time you will be attending the online quiz. Okay, for this you need to prepare from your biology textbook page number 10 to 19, you read the book. Okay, you read the book, and if you don't understand concepts, go back to my video and check the explanation part. So mostly I have explained whatever is given in your book, so you can check back the video if you need to understand, or if you don't have a textbook. Okay, so what you are going to read? You are going to read from pages 10 to 19. You will read. I am not going to give question and answers, only one word answers, multiple choice questions, or fill in the blanks I will give you. Okay, so everything will be from the portion what I taught you only. Okay, so nothing new. So those who don't have books also, you need not worry, just go through the video and learn all the technical terms and understand the concepts. Only based on that I will be conducting quiz. Okay, simply memorizing, it's not of much use, right? You need to know all the concepts, and you need to be thorough with all the technical terms or scientific terms. For that you need to read the book, not simply giving 10 fill in the blanks, asking you to learn and giving back the same 10. It's not a proper way of learning, right? So you will read the book from 10 to 19. And for last class, Griffin and Geoffrey has sent me the first right answers both on the same time, 11:31 I think. 11:30 your class finished, and 31 both of them have sent me, and the right answers for them are number 4 simple leaf and number 5 transpiration. So you can correct the answers if you have written wrongly. So prepare well for next online quiz. So until I meet you in the next biology class, you all take care and bye bye.